How
do we know who they are when they don't wear name tags?
And they're going to come up and introduce themselves, and we're going to get underway with Jack.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jack Gillen for a Healthier, Happier, Happening Hamilton. And I'm a father with a child. Where is he? Peter's just down there. I also am a pastor, counsellor, community worker, and I stand for Families for Justice and also Suicide Prevention Trust, where I'm raising up humanitarians, messengers of hope, life mentors, practicing suicide first aid, buddy support. Now, already we've seen leaders misusing power for profit, purchasing a building in Victoria Street. We've seen a corporate model excluding the little man and ordinary people. We've seen high rates increases of money wasted on the new theatre, 70 million, without renovating the old Founders Theatre. We are seeing businesses overheads too high, shutting down businesses here in Hamilton. We've heard of mayor and councillors not supporting climate change initiatives when our street drains are already flooding. We've heard of the need for new homes with less red tape and home developers needing to charge less than $100,000 per home. We need to build real social houses, collaborating with Bunnings, producing flat-pack houses, pepper potting them throughout Peacocks. We should never have sold the pensioner flats and estate homes. We should zone off industrial-based land, stopping organisations like Sleepyhead from going to Tamaheri. With 700-page project documents, we need a consultant to break everything down into what really needs to be done. We need to revitalise our communities, linking up everyone with real communication, writing up and sending out monthly newsletter online, informing the public, getting back to real feedback. We have seen the shutting down of youth and elder councils with the need for advisory boards and democratic forums where the people's voice is heard. It's time to balance the books with responsible spending, with greater transparency and accountability. It is time to include all citizens within our diverse community. It is time to vote for Jack Gillen for a healthier, happier, happening Hamilton. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack Gillen. And your favourite ice cream?
Peaches.
Peaches. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, I'm going to ask our next person, Angela O'Leary. Welcome to the floor.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, thank you for inviting me here today. My name is Angela O'Leary and I'm standing for the Mayoral team. I think it's time you had a mayor with some experience, and you've told me you need a mayor you can trust. When I announced my candidacy in January, I said my campaign wouldn't be about me, the candidate, and what I wanted, it would be about you. And since then, I've spoken to hundreds of residents and small business owners and asked what matters most to you. There are two things that you've told me that matter most to you: rates and the uncertainty of future rates increases, and trust. You've told me that you no longer trust the mayoralty. So if you elect me on the 12th of October to be your mayor, I will do something significant about both of those things. I will align rates to the cost of living in my first term without cutting essential services, and I have a plan to do that. And I have lots of ideas and ways to help rebuild your trust in council. Those are some of the things that are really important to you, so they have formed my campaign. And as mayor, I will lead a council where the best ideas are discussed and supported, and where truth and honesty and real representation occurs around that council table. I hope that you will support me. I'm Angela O'Leary. As you know, voting papers are in your letterboxes from today, and you have until the 12th of October to vote. Thank you very much.
And Angela, your favourite ice cream?
Duck Island chocolate and coconut.
Nice. Now we are putting through an Uber order for all your ice creams. I just need the council credit card. Yeah. Okay, our next person is the wonderful Louise Hutt. Welcome to the floor.
Kia ora.
ko Karanga Haki Te Maunga, ko Pangata Te Moana, ko Ngāti Pākehā tuku iwi, ko Hut o Ngarohia toku hapu, ko Hodge o Tamaki Makaru toku hapu, kei Kirikiri Roa toku kainga inaine. So my name is Louise Hut. My family comes from Ngarohia and from Auckland, and now I live in Hamilton. I want to tell you a little bit about myself because this is kind of like a job interview. So currently I am the youngest CEO of an electricity company in New Zealand. The first retailer that we built, we were able to reduce the cost of electricity in the Waikato by 30%. So I have a really good understanding of what it's like to provide core services for communities. And we actually worked with Neil a little bit on one of those earlier projects. And what I've been working on for the past year is taking a second retailer nationwide to be able to provide cost savings across Aotearoa, because obviously electricity is not something that anybody really wants to live without. Outside of that, I'm on the governance board of GoEco, which is the largest sustainability charity in the Waikato. We work with our flagship project is Kaivolution, which rescues 18,000 kilos of food waste a month and distributes it to over 160 charities, including a lot of our neighbourhood houses. So I have a pretty good understanding of what responsibility is when it comes to core services, and also the importance of sustainability, so that we can be future focused and thinking about how our decisions affect our communities and how hopefully we can turn things like food waste into things. Okay. My priorities for our city are having better housing, making up for the sale of pensioner housing by investing in our community lands trust, transport that gets us where we need to and when, and looking after our environment because climate change is happening and we should probably do something about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Your favourite ice cream?
I'm gonna say Goody Gumdrops.
Goody Gumdrop, yeah. I'd actually like to say that I was the person that got Goody Gumdrop back into the 2 litres. Remember it was half? I got a petition, I wrote to TikTok. This was back in the day before Facebook, it was just emails. And then it came back, and I like to take credit for that. It probably wasn't me. How do they think we're going to learn it? Okay, the next person is Paula Southgate.
Tēnā tātou katoa, ko Kirikiri Roa taku karanga waiwai, ko Paula Southgate. Pleasure to be here this afternoon. I have represented Hamilton now for over 18 years with your kind support, and I thank you for that. 15 years on the Regional Council and the last 3 years at the City Council. And I hold a number of regional, local and national roles of responsibility, which I think will bring great benefit to our city. I stand for a number of things. Firstly, I do believe that public participation and community engagement can be done better than what it is currently done. We need to involve you in the decisions that shape your future. We need to do this well before we get to the decision-making stage at council. And we need to go beyond the 5-minute public forums, which are often short and blunt, to allow you plenty of time to have input into what's important for you. I stand for fair and affordable rates, and I would love to be able to promise a particular amount of rates, but I can't, and I'll tell you why. We've got an ageing city with a lot of ageing infrastructure, and we saw this with the demise of Waterworld, in which the filtration was 37 years old, the flooring material was degrading and all the acoustic tiles had fallen off. So we need to take care of those kinds of assets, our parks, our pools, our playgrounds, our libraries, things that make it lovely to live in local communities. We need to get growth right because we are growing, we're going to grow. People are coming here every week from all around the world, so we're also becoming a lot more diverse. We need affordable homes. I have some concerns about the homes, but I'm going to work as hard as I can to ensure that we get this growth right. The last thing I want to talk about is I stand for strong local communities. Those are what make Hamilton hum. When your local community and the people within it do well, Hamilton does well. So that will be a key focus for me. Please support me to be your Mayor of Hamilton. Thank you.
Thank you. And your favourite ice cream?
Salted caramel.
Salted caramel. Are we getting a few favourites in the crowd as well? A few people, nice. Called Carol. I'm a Razor. Yeah, the favourites. Anyone else want to disclose their
Vanilla.
vanilla? The kitchen's listening. Okay, I'd like to welcome up Lisa Lewis. Welcome.
Sorry, I don't have this protocol on me. Good afternoon, my name is Lisa Lewis. First of all, thank you all for coming today. I know it's a lot to ask for you guys to take time out of your Friday afternoon, especially on a beautiful sunny spring day like today. I'd like to say in my first 90 days as Mayor, I want to investigate and put together a safer community strategy that is A, cost effective, B, results focused, and C, people centric. I definitely support community centres, especially this Norton. I actually went to school here just around the corner at Fraser High School, and I will continue to support community centres as Mayor and as a councillor. Homelessness is an issue we need to address and stop sweeping under the mat. I will listen to your concerns as Mayor, research facts, investigate problems, brainstorm ideas to repair issues, working hard and always putting my community and my people first. I am empathetic and understanding in all situations, and I will listen to you and act for you as Mayor. Thank you for taking time out of your Friday. Please vote Lisa Lewis for a Mayor that will be a strong voice and advocate on your behalf. I will work hard for Hamilton. I am honest and transparent, and as a Mayor, I will reflect these same qualities. I promise to bring our community together. Vote Lisa Lewis for a Mayor and East Ward Councillor, and voting starts today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And favourite ice cream?
Hokey pokey.
Hokey Pokey! Yeah, I'd like to invite Andrew King.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew King. I was brought up in 69 Avalon Drive when it was a country road, a long time ago. As Mayor, I've been the conductor, so I'm not the leader, but I need a majority of council who've supported me to achieve great things over the last 3 years, and I thank the majority of council who has got behind me to do that. Anyone can be a mayor and hold rates down and let the city run down by doing it, and we've seen that with the library, with Water World, with the Founders Theatre, with their footpaths, with their pipes. In fact, the city was run down. Somebody needed to fix it up. This was a very brave council who's done the right thing. But your rating is still in the lowest third of all rates, residential rates in New Zealand. This council has talked to central government, and we've got $250 million off central government that's come to our city to open up Peacock, get the train going to Auckland, and this has never happened in the history of Hamilton before, where council has talked to central government and given us money that doesn't have to be paid back. This is a huge boost to our economy, to our region, and to our city. I'm about free buses for our disabled, for our youth, and outside of peak times. I'm about no water meters. I'm about no more pokies. I'm about lobbying for a drug court to come to Hamilton to keep people in our society, do random tests on them. I'm about strong finances. I'm about strong families. I'm about growing Hamilton. I love the people. Vote Andrew King for Mayor.
Thank you. And favourite ice cream?
I'm conflicted, but I'm going to say it. Sonny Nelson, Real Fruit Ice Cream in Greenwood Street, because my son Josh runs it, so go down and see him in the weekends. Opposite Wendy's.
Speaking of ads, have you got a function coming up in the next couple of weeks, or at Christmas? A gathering, a get-together? Need some tables and chairs? We've got tables and chairs for hire. $2 for a chair, $6 for a table, $50 bond, pick up Friday, drop back Monday. It's an easy win. We get the funds. We invest it back to the community, and you get a chance to receive and all that kind of stuff, and it's all happy. And people come around. All right, what we're going to do now is, I just need Jack just to come back. Jack's just taking a bit of a break.
We don't have a question of the man, Mr. Chair.
Not just yet. Sorry, we're going to get through this part, and we'll see what time we have left. But what I'm going to do is, I'd like each person along the row to ask the next person a question. It's going to be quite sharp. So you've got a question to ask the person sitting next to you. Andrew will ask Jack. And we're going to try and keep this really tight, so not too long. Jack, you have to ask Angela a question.
Yep.
Angela Louise.
Right. So I ask her now.
Yeah.
how are you going to handle the community and the need to support all community organisations?
First of all, I don't handle the community. I represent and work for the community. And I've always been a strong community supporter for facilities like this, and none of that will change. I absolutely understand that I have 170,000 bosses, and I am accountable to those community people.
Good.
Thank you. Angela, do you have a question?
Yes. How will you build a team of 13 elected members?
So, in my work, we actually have 12 people that I work with, me being the 13th, so it's actually the same amount of people on council. And the approach that we take is to be humble and stay curious. And so the reason we do that is because if you're humble, you don't know everything, you can't solve everything on your own, but if you are curious about what everybody else brings to the table, you can probably solve it all together. And so it's about making sure that we can collaborate and have respect and appreciation for what everybody else brings from their life experience. So that would be what I would do.
Mike Neal.
Sorry, yeah.
If you like.
The question was, how would I get a group of people to work together? And I said, in my work, we have a team of 12, so with me, that's 13. That's only people on council. And we take the approach of being humble and staying curious. So being humble because you don't know everything yourself. And you shouldn't be expected to know everything. But if you stay curious about what everybody else brings, you can use everybody else's experience and their wealth of knowledge to hopefully be able to find a solution to most things if you work collaboratively. Cool?
Thank you.
Question for Paula.
She's thinking of a hard one.
What would you like to see in the founders site?
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's not too bad. Well, I think the Western Town Belt, which everybody has input into, made it quite clear that that area is for a mixed use. It's for either green space, cultural expression, or sports. So I would like to see us go out to see who is out there that could change the founders into a really awesome community space. And actually, I will give a bit of a shout out for Lisa here, because one idea, there's a couple of ideas floating out there. There's a gentleman who would love to change it into an interactive children's museum, and that could be very interesting. And Lisa herself has suggested that it becomes an indoor skating arena, an all-weather skating arena. We know that there's a lot of young people who are very much into their skating. That would be good too. Neither of those uses would be inconsistent with the West Town Belt, which is sports, community, or green space. But we haven't, it's a decision for the new council. It has not yet been decided the fate of Founders Theatre. So bring your good ideas. Thank you. Hi, Lisa. What ingredients do you think make up a very successful and thriving city? That wasn't too bad, was it?
In terms of a thriving, successful city, I think a community spirit is very important, an involving community. I think engagement, keeping the community together, and putting on events where it is affordable for everybody, not just for the high end of community. I think even having the Christmas tree once a year in Garden Place is nice. I think engagement is important for a thriving and successful city. A question for Andrew. I'm sorry, this is close to my heart. I have to ask about the homelessness. So if you became mayor this term, what could you improve in terms of last term for the homeless people in Hamilton?
We work very closely with Wises Group, and we also know that there's changes going on at the night shelter. The night shelter traditionally run by filling beds up, and they get paid for filling beds up, and they need an incentive to have empty beds so that when there really is people who genuinely need a bed for the night, that there is space in there for them. So the financial model of how the men's shelter works needs to change to encourage them to have empty beds instead of encouraging them to fill it up, because people are getting turned away from there all the time because there's no beds in there, because they're motivated to keep every bed full because that's how they get their money from central, or their money is paid for by bed nights. So that model, I'd like to see that change. My question for Jack is, the buses are running around empty most of the time outside of peak times. Would you support buses being free all the time outside of peak times? It's a yes or no answer, Jack.
Yes, I would, because transport's so important now, and I think with the climate change affecting us, we need to get into alternative transport, like electric cars and line scooters and so forth. And so people being able to move around together, like move with alternative transport, walking, and busing is so very important. Yes, I would.
All right, put your hands together for all the mayoral candidates, everyone. It takes a lot to get up there and stand up for the top job. Get grilled by Mike McRoberts. Who saw that coming when they signed up to be a mayoral candidate? It's pretty cool. But so the mayoral candidates, they get a lot of coverage, right? Everyone wants to know who's going to be mayor, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. But the thing is that they're only one vote at the end of the day. And the other half of that sits down here. These are the council candidates for the West Ward. So 6 of these, and there is, we do have apologies from Chris Davis from the West Side. And James Cassidy's East Side. So these people will be here helping the mayor and being able to vote on everything as well. Now, a lot of people only pay a lot of attention to the mayoral candidates, but the people down here are just as important, if not more, because it takes a majority of them to help the mayor do what they want to do, or for the councillors to enact their visions as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to be giving a minute to each of the council candidates. We're not going to give them a buzzer until the end. So unfortunately it's only a minute. But should we do that question thing where we do the circular questioning again for them? Because that's quite cool.
The ice cream.
And we might do the ice cream as well. You like the ice cream? I reckon the Waikato Times should do that next year, eh? Just have the which ice cream. And that's the only information that you get, and you can just vote on that. It might actually be better. Put your hands up if Rod Bowman's asked you a question at a councillor candidate meeting before. Put your hands up. Yep. Is it the same question this time, Rod, that you always ask, or is it different? Different. Is it?
Yeah.
Differently worded or different? Okay, good. We're just checking. All right, we're going to go to the council candidates now. We're going to start down that end. We're going to come bring it in. So we're going to go. Would you guys like to get up and stand up? And we'll start from music. Matthew, down the end.
What have we done? Are we doing the question thing?
No, you guys are just doing 1 minute to introduce yourselves, and then we'll do a bit of circular questioning for fun. That's a 1 minute marker.
Are we coming up the front?
Come up the front.
Is the microphone on?
Yep.
Only got 1 minute, so I want to make sure.
Do a test. Just do a test on that microphone.
Yeah, it's good.
Put your hands up. Can you guys hear it at the back, okay?
Right, so I'm Matthew Shea, and I'm really close on the council West Ward. About me, we've got a background in law, like most politicians. I'm a business owner of both wards, including the CBD, where I have two. For me, I'm about fundamentals, so rugby fan as well. You guys might know the Crusaders, 3 years in a row champions. And Matthew Small down there is a big fan, but the reason why this is exclusive, they stick to the basics. And it's the same in business, so like I said, I only have 1 minute to talk about this, but that's really what I'm about. After this, we're going to have a chat and have fun.
Favourite ice cream?
It doesn't matter as long as the nutrient profile is correct.
Nice.
Kia ora, my name is Matthew Small. I work as a disability support worker and I live in Norton. I just live down Odling Crescent.
Sorry, can't hear you.
Start again.
My name is Matthew Small. I live in Norton. I work as a disability support worker. There's 4 key areas I'll advocate for and work hard around. And it's around how council can increase the supply of housing, how council can improve the management of our city assets, how we can improve the accessibility around our city, and have affordable rate increases. So I want to talk about accessibility. So as a disability support worker, I'm pushing children and adults around in wheelchairs, and the state of the footpaths are an utter disgrace. They're a core service, and it's something I'll advocate for if elected. It's also important that I don't go around promising things. So there'll be no bribes or free things from me. At the end of the day, there's no such thing as free. You have to pay for it. Also, just about rate increases and making sure that they're affordable. So you'll get lots of candidates saying they wouldn't have increased rates so high. Well, I wouldn't either. So quite small thing. And ice cream is chocolate.
The first chocolate, it's amazing.
Tēnā tātou te whānau, tēnā koe te matua nau I tuku ngā whakamoni te atua. Ko mana ina hua ki tōku me mai. I'm from the West, born of the West, and will remain on the West forever. So, I'm going to hit the nail on the head, identify and talk about the white elephant in the room, which is not white. I'm Māori. I want to put that out there straight away, because when you see me, you're going to assume that that's all I am. I've been in education for 20 years, from primary right through to tertiary education. I'm a homeowner. I have raised my 4 children. We own small business. Amongst our family, we have 4 small businesses. And I can talk about this. And it's actually my opportunity to come here today to let you know that I stand for diversity. So I'm not just this Māori face in front of you. I come here to disrupt the environment, to hopefully put some ideas in terms of other solutions for our community. Hamilton West is
My name's Peter Harry Boss.
Peter, hold it right up, mate.
My wife and I have 5 adult children and 8 grandchildren who all live in Hamilton and always have. Over the years, we've been involved with school boards, PTA, sports clubs, parents too. I'm from Beta area. Growth in my area has been good for retail in Beta and Melbourne, and in Norton looks to be okay also. Over the past half a decade, Hamilton's grown by 20%. Norton Primary School down the road there has grown by 30. Young people are attracted to Norton. Do you think enough is being invested in making it easy for kids to walk or bike to school independent of adults? As a parent, do you feel our roads look safe for our children to cross or even bike alone? Thank you.
What's your name again?
Peter Harry Boss.
I'm Sarah Thompson. I'm a community lawyer, so I help people who can't afford legal services, helping them with things like employment issues, debt, housing, all sorts of stuff. Before then, I was a commercial lawyer, but I moved over to the light side. I'm from Hamilton. After spending 2 years up in Auckland working, it's grown my love for Hamilton even more. And so I've decided to come back and settle in the West here. What I'm standing for is community well-being and acting for both our current and future generations. So that means real transport choices, safe walking and biking, having our kids being able to bike to school, real bus systems like free buses, so that we're changing the way we're getting around. Affordable housing and addressing homelessness. So we're getting the right balance of housing and we're finding workable solutions for homelessness. For example, supporting more boarding houses so through creating communities where people live and looking after the environment. So climate change is a real big issue for me, and I took a court case a few years ago on it. So kia ora, I support. Thank you for your support and your vote.
Very good. Hey, favourite ice cream?
I can make my own.
Kia ora, Sydney Henry. I'm one of first city council for the West Side. I've actually always lived in the West. I started in Grandview Road. I remember meeting Neil 30 years ago. Neil, you were only a year.
I was only one.
At the Salvation Army Church, and he's always had a heart for the community. And that actually inspired me years ago, and it was wonderful to be there. And I was the founding member for Norton Play Center. I did a lot of stuff and voluntary in the West Side. Really enjoyed it. I'm married to a Kiwi. Actually, talking about diversity, I'm the only councillor from a non-English-speaking country. And I love the diversity that you see here. Today, it's really exciting for this election. So, married to a Kiwi, have brought up 3 kids in the West. And I'm for the environment. That's always been my hot button. I blew helium balloons against the government when they send a plane with some toxic pesticides over us. And Sydney Henry, thank you.
My favorite jelly chip. Hi everyone. Oh, hello. My name is Shanti Ram. Is that working? Can you hear me?
Yes.
And actually, I moved in Norton 2001. So I'm still here. So this community is my home. When I have nothing to do, I come here. I start helping everybody. Whatever they need. They need to teach English, they need a curry, or we feel like something else. Okay, I'll do it for you. So making the veggie pack, and I think we very well known in this community. So that's what I do, because I'm standing for the passion of my people. You are my people. Diversity, that's what we need more. It's not enough. We need to have some more diversity so we can progress. Hey, whoever turned to mayor requested we need a community hub. Because the kids come from the school and we haven't got enough space here to sit down because they just outside wandering around. So this is the place we need one. Please, mayors, councillors, whoever's standing, make sure this community center has to be there. Okay, thank you.
Kira, I'm Michelle from the West Side. Last September, I had a massive spring clean of my house and my life, and I think Hamilton City Council needs to have their own spring clean. So I have been a member of Dinsdale Toastmasters. We actually meet here every Tuesday night, and I was Dinsdale Lions first woman member and first woman president. Got someone that can duck that over there. So I'm a member of Team Integrity. So on behalf of the Hamilton residents and ratepayers, we have got a team of 7. So there's 3 from the west. So sorry, Rudy and David send their apologies. They can't make it today. And we've got 4 in the east side. So it's a great team. I'm all about community and about focus and representing the community. Talking to the people. A couple of weeks ago, Rudy and I stood on the Dinsdale roundabout, seeing how dangerous it was. Something needs to be done about it. I think they need 5 traffic lights on the entrances and a speed camera to get more races. Positive change for Hamilton, Michelle Houghton.
Hello everyone, Jeff Taylor's my name, first term councillor. I'm married with 4 kids and I live in Grandview Heights. Time is short, so I focus on one issue that's close to my heart. 3 years ago I campaigned on breathing some life into our central city because I was worried that it was dying. And I was worried about people's attitudes, particularly to things like parking. So I wanted to try and bring in free parking to see if it would help. A year later, with the support of the Mayor and the Council, we brought in 2 hours free in CBD, and it has made a significant difference. The number of cars parked short term for 1 to 2 hours in the central city is up 16%. Spending is up, foot traffic is up, business occupancy is up. But you know what? The best thing is, I just think it's made us feel better about our central city, and that's what I love. It's played a part in helping to revitalise the city, and I'm really proud of it, and I want to make it better in the next term. Thank you. Cookies and cream.
Oh, yeah. Kia ora koutou. I'm Dave McPherson. I've been a councillor for a while, but my passion is actually community organisations like this, voluntarily run. I've been on the board of this organisation and also helping with the Western Community News for getting up towards 2 decades now, and that's the part of my work I like best. When I stood 3 years ago, I made a couple of promises. One was to get rid of Can I start again?
Start again.
Get rid of water meters, and we got rid of water meters within a couple of months. I also said we'd get the train going to Auckland. I campaigned for that. That's starting in 9 months. But actually, my other passion on council has turned into getting better and safer transport. So we're working on getting people into buses as an alternative to cars, free for disabled, free for youth under 19 on weekends, and as of a couple of days ago, on public holidays as well. We're looking now at extending the Super Gold user times through into the evening and eventually the morning, because that's going to, and also off-peak free transport, like the Mayor said. So those are the sorts of things that you'll actually be working on if you elect me. And my ice cream is, I don't think anyone's chosen this, orange chocolate chip, being Scotch. I like 2 for the price of 1.
A minute.
Minnie Elman went on special at Countdown. Background of those of you who don't know me, I'm Martin Gallagher. I've lived in Hamilton all my life. I went to school at lived in Norton Road, went to school at Whitiora, Mara Intermediate, Boys High. I'm going for one of the 6 Westward slots. It's going to be, when you take out your voting paper, it's a blend, I guess, of new, fresh, but experience. I'm hoping I'm going for the experience slot. I also want to take the opportunity to absolutely shout out for Dave Mack as the example of what you need on council is passionate leadership. Don't just leave it to staff. The only reason we have disability, free disability on the buses, we have a youth pass on the buses, we're going to extend Super Gold cards on the buses, better voting systems, because you need passionate, focused councillors, irrespective of what they look like, what their chronological age may be. You've got to have people who advocate for you. Also be aware of those councillors or candidates who you don't just see for the first time today. I've been here for many, many years, and can I just do a final shout out for Neil Tolan and the Western Community Centre for the wonderful work they do.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ewan Wilson. I've been on council before. I didn't re-stand in 2016. I've been away overseas, went back to school, and have finished the last 6 months working as a volunteer in the Philippines. Look, my passion is community and business, and a lot of councillors will talk and candidates will talk about what they promise. I just want to talk a few seconds about my voting record in my 12 years that I've had on local government. I voted to make sure water meters did not come in. I voted for a living wage nearly 6 years ago when it first came up for discussion. I've always voted for the community networks and community houses. And I think most importantly, this election's about getting the balance right between growth, city debt, and affordable rates. The city must remain to be affordable for those who live in it. I'm passionate about seeing Hamilton Airport relaunch international flights, and I'm asking for your support.
Hokey pokey. Hands down.
Just to be something different, Barry Quayle standing for the regional council, not to be confused with the city council. However, you know, if somebody says you're doing it right, they say they did it. Now, what we've heard is everything about the buses, and you can actually know that it's actually the regional council who actually fronts up with the money. and provide the buses. They made the decision. Thank you to my colleagues for saying that's a great decision, because they were all done within the last 2 years that I've been on council. Some of the things we are doing going forward, we're looking at whether we can extend the service even further. We've just settled the strike, and we're the ones who come up with the living wage for the bus drivers and put that together, and now it's happening. And I believe it's probably one of the first in New Zealand to do that. And that came out of the regional council and my colleagues. So I have to recognise that there has been a lot of work done with the city, and we work together, and that's actually a big change from a few years ago. So Barry Quayle for regional council. Favourite smooth from Hokey Pokey to chocolate.
Do you want to do the thing where we get the candidates to quickly ask each other a question? Or should we move to the yes-no questions? Candidates ask or yes-nos?
Questions from the floor.
Okay, maybe later if we've got time.
Questions from the floor.
Then get out if you don't like it, sir. If you're going to swear in here, there are children here, sir. You can take your cuss words out.
I apologise for that. If you can't organise it properly, though.
Well, you feel free to organise your own, sir. Anyone can.
Nobody else agrees with me, do they?
Just a quick one. What we think is it's nice to hear, because you guys have actually been to a lot of these, so you've got some interesting ideas for questions.
Matthew, what do you think of free parking in CBD?
I think it's a good idea, but at the same time, it's not free. At the end of the day, council are losing revenue. So I support it. What do you think about the rates increase from last year? How's it going to affect our economy?
Gosh, really a tough question. As a ratepayer, it's difficult. Absolutely difficult. So it'll be interesting to see what our next council comes up with in terms of the vulnerable people that will affect. Alright, next question. So we all know that the voting turnout in the last round was pathetic. What have you been doing in terms of trying to improve that process?
Alright, one thing we're working on at the moment is actually a video explaining what council does, and Milena was helped with that as well, so we're going to push that out over the next few weeks. And I'm going to, over the next 4 weeks, be really trying hard to get out, knock on doors, say hi to people out at parks, at community centres, wherever it is, to try and just say, okay, your vote really counts. I think the face-to-face contact is really valuable in that respect. And this morning I just convinced one person to vote who otherwise probably wouldn't vote. So it's everyone is a real, I guess, achievement. Yeah. All right, Siggy, in terms of supporting cycleways, how would you deal with the conflict between, I guess, reallocating road space to cycleways and potentially taking out car parking, which some people will feel unhappy about, while others will support?
That's a great question. Looking at Europe, they've done actually an amazing job in reducing, making the roads smaller, narrower, to make more space for the cyclists and really separating the cyclists and keep it really safe. But there's plenty of space for the cars, believe me. So that's one of the things I'm really hot about, that we prioritize other modes of transport and not just cars all the time. Right. Michelle, what is one thing you would love to change?
Sure. It's definitely the roads. The roads in Hamilton are so dangerous. The roundabouts need fixing, and especially the roads in
outside Gallagher's, Capital Drive, why they made it 2 lanes into one, all the trucks use that road. So dangerous, it needs fixing. So to Jeff, so I was going to talk about roading, but so how do you think that we should fix the roading and Norton?
I think a lot of it is down to different transport choices and giving people a whole lot of choices, and that's partly why we're investing in the buses, because we need more people on buses. You can spend trillions and trillions of dollars on roads and you're still never going to have enough roads because the cars just multiply. So that's why we're trying all the different transport choices, be it car share, cycle, which we're looking at spending up to $60 million in the next 10 years on cycleways to try and get people on bikes. E-bikes, car share, home scooters even, you know. So that's our way of doing it. Sure, we're going to have to build more roads, but you've got to offer different transport choices. Dave, in particular in regard to the worst congestion I've seen in the whole of Hamilton at the moment is in Tilbury's. What can be done about that? I know it's not on our ward, but we all go there.
Yeah, we all have to travel through it. Look, the problem is so many cars with so few people in the cars. One person in nearly all of those cars. We simply have to get some of those people out of their cars. The ones that can travel on buses have to be able to do that, which means we're going to have more buses, more frequently, and bus lanes in areas like that. If we can get 60 people on one bus and take 30 or 40 cars off the road, those people who still need to use the cars will have a freer trip, and it will be much easier for all round if we can get the balance right. At the moment, only a very small proportion of people use the buses because they're not so convenient, they're not giving enough of an advantage. When they do, you will see changes, and you will see gridlock like in Hamilton East, or people saw it the other day on Anglesey Street and Te Rapa Road. It was terrible here on this side as well. You simply have to offer better choices for public transport. There's no other solution than having that alongside the roads.
Oh, sorry. What's the question?
I had a question for Martin, and that was, how do you view water meters as opposed to water conservation, or can you do both?
I lived in South Yorkshire a few years ago, privatised water company, owned by a French or Canadian outfit. We had water meters. Number one, don't think the water meter issue is dead and gone. It's still lurking there. Number one, you're going to spend millions and millions of dollars to retrofit water meters in this city. Number two, water meters can only hurt one group of people, and that is lower income working families. And that's why I will continue to oppose that form of charging. We are doing quite well around conservation. I much prefer education and community participation rather than introduce high prices to reduce use of water. I think we do it through education, but be very wary of those who actually, and ask all candidates where they stand on water meters, because as I said before, the only people that will suffer are lower income working families. I won't ask your favourite ice cream, you've answered that, all good. Ewan, surprise, you are on the record as being incredibly enthusiastic to see if our airport could reintroduce trans-Tasman flights direct from Hamilton rather than going through the Auckland traffic to fly to Brisbane or Sydney or the Gold Coast. Why are you so enthusiastic?
Gosh, great question. Thank you for that. Look, I obviously have some experience with having launched Kiwi International Airlines. It operated only for 2 years, but it was the catalyst for 18 years of international air services. So Air New Zealand stepped in, and it injected hundreds of millions of dollars into the economy. Why should we get it back? The runway's long enough, the terminal's been built, and currently the airport company owned by the regional council, the regional council, so Hamilton 50% and then 4 other councils, only have a letter of intent that says that they must focus only on regional services. They don't even have a mandate to go out looking for international opportunities. We've got to change that. It generates jobs and it generates economic well-being. Oh, sorry. Shanti, up here. Shanti, tell me more about this great community hub idea. Where would it be? And tell me all about it.
Hi everyone. My name is Shanti Ram. As I have said before, that I've been moved in 2001, and the hub is my passion because I've been here for so long. You know, our community center is growing up each year because the people keep on coming and they know how wonderful this community center is. Because there is a none in Hamilton exactly the same here. Because this one, everybody, you know, diversity, anybody can come. There is no question asked who you are and what you earn. They just come and relax themselves. The more for me is that when the youth comes, when the young people come, they have nowhere to go. If we have the hub here at Police, there's 1,600 students in the Fraser High. You know how many there goes out there? We don't know. But there are only some kids come here because they can sit and make themselves a cup of tea, coffee, whatever, without asking any question. And there are some computer classes too, and they sit there and they play with the computer. So they have this place here. We need it more bigger so they can come and enjoy that. And we haven't got enough space here. They just sit on the front about half dozen. We have got a youth club here, and you're looking after. And okay, I think Max said that's it. So I think we do need it. Please. We do need it. Shanti for the community. Hi.
What's your question, Shanti?
Oh, we need to ask. Okay, that's for the regional. All right. Hey, give me a clue.
Water quality.
Yeah, water quality.
What do you think about water quality?
Yeah, water quality, please.
Water quality is becoming a big issue in our region, and it's very important. We are required by the government to come out in the last couple of weeks. We are required, all the councils are required to come up with a plan within 5 years to improve that water quality. So that's going to be a big challenge for all councils, and we have to watch that it doesn't impact on the ratepayers because it has the potential to do that significantly. So for the city, what it means is literally our stormwater is going to be monitored more often, and what goes in our waste is going to be monitored more often. So that's going to be a big challenge for us and a challenge for all the councils. Thank you. Here, let's see, what haven't we covered? Housing. We haven't covered housing. That's a good one. So what would you do, what do you think the city should do to facilitate housing? I do have a little bit of concern, I must say, about peacocks, and that it could actually generate a whole lot of homes which are very small that nobody wants to buy from a diversity point of view.
Well, actually, if you look at how people live in Hamilton, about almost 50% of the houses only use one bedroom for sleeping in it. Families are getting smaller, and the need for 4-bedroom houses is diminishing. So smaller sections, small 1-2-bedroom houses is where we haven't been building enough of. Matt, should people be allowed to live in the vacant ground floor shops in CBD?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, it all depends on the circumstances. So, there really, in reality, shouldn't be a lot of vacant shops on the bottom floor of a CBD. So, my concern is, I'm actually, less planning most of the time, but in this case, like for the CBD, I mean, it's very important to the functionality of the city, and so I would be a little bit cautious to allow people to live on the bottom floor of those development slots. I mean, they're not very relevant now, but in a CP it should be, so the focus should be on improving that bottom CP and functionality at first, at which point people won't live on the bottom floor, and live on 2 floor upwards, or even 10 floors up if they change the regulations on the buildings.
So thanks very much. That's all your West Ward candidates. So just do take a bit of a snapshot of all their faces. So we're just going to do the quick fire rounds. And this is going to be a yes-no question. So we'll grab your yes-no questions. So it's going to be, we're going to ask the question, and then the mayoral candidates are going to hold it up first with the yes-no. We are being tough. It is hard. A lot of things, they're not black and white. There is a lot of grey area. So, but we do want to see the yes/nos. If you don't want to answer, you can just put it down or put it sideways. But also, you can, everyone here, you can go up and talk to them about the issue if you want to know why they think it's one way or the other. So we'll have the mayoral candidates do it first. We'll just get you to hold it up high enough so that we can see you and your face for the cameras and the times and the paper and the Facebook. Oh yeah, cause some division. No. And so we'll do this, and then after we've seen the mayoral candidate's response, then we'll go over and ask the same question of the West Ward candidates. All right, the first one, you can probably all answer this at the same time. Do you think the All Blacks will win the World Cup? Oh, Okay. Now, a bit more serious now, mayoral candidates. So, in your next term and future terms, will you vote against water meters? Will you vote against them, yes or no?
Against the for?
So this is so this is everyone voting against water meters.
Yes.
Fantastic. So no one's voting for water meters. West Ward candidates, will you vote against water meters? No, not at all. No, you can talk to them afterwards, that's the point. So we've got it. So that's the yes. You'll vote against water meters? Guaranteed? Yep. Matthew, no, yes? Alright. So the next one, if you guys don't know it, so something the council has started at the moment is the Community Lands Trust. You can look it up. For the mayoral candidates, will you vote for the continuation, should need to be, of the Community Lands Trust? Yes. West Ward candidates, the Lands Trust. So we got yes and yes, no, and what have you got, Matthew? You don't know? You don't know the issue, or you don't know about it? Right. And no down there. So mayoral candidates. So at the moment we spend the lion's share of the budget, of the transport budget, on automobile roads. Will you vote for a more balanced share of the transport budget?
For what? A balanced share for what?
Okay, so specifically, and will you vote for a modal share of the transport budget based on census figures? You want it specific. So a modal share is, so for instance, the census said that like 7% of people rode their bikes to work, 5% of people were on the buses, and the rest on the roads. So would you vote to put the money where each person is?
Oh, yes.
Percentage-wise?
Well, that's what we get. Modal shift, yes.
Modal shift transport? Yes, no. West Ward candidates? So yeah, at the moment, council spends almost all the money on roads and infrastructure for cars and trucks. Would you vote to spend more money for what people use? So if people are walking, more money for footpaths. If people are biking, more money for separation. Yeah, trains is fun stuff, and they'll take trains at the moment because they're not an option. So, yes. Yes, no? No. Okay. This one was sent in. Rob might be happy. Will you keep rate rises below inflation? That's a big one. So mayoral candidates, will you keep rate rises below inflation? It's a yes below inflation, yes. No answer, no answer, no answer, and no.
Lower than what it is, but not
Most people in this line have just voted for a 3.8.
Good point.
So,
Compounding.
yeah.
And Westport candidates, below inflation. It is a tough one. All right. Mayoral candidates, do you think man-made climate change is a pressing concern for this council?
What if women have contributed? Human created that.
How many of the candidates drove here instead of riding their bike?
Okay, Westport candidates, do you think anthropocene and climate change
Good question.
is a pressing concern for this council? Yes, no at the end. Yes. All right, another one. Mayoral candidates, is art, culture, entertainment and community... I want to change it now. Sorry, is art, culture, entertainment and community as important to a city as roads and pipes? Right, Westport candidate, is art, culture, entertainment and community as important to a city as roads and pipes?
Well, you want kids to play soccer on the weekend as well as get there.
How are you going to get
That
was a good response.
Culture, marketing, the whole deal.
All right, in fact, that's all the thing that we have time for. So, what we're going to happen now is, how long have we run for, Neil?
Do a few people have maybe we'll do 3 yes/no questions from the crowd. We don't want to go on too long, but we'll go right. A yes/no question for the
The question needs to be one sentence or shorter so people can follow it. Unlike my terrible ones.
The question I've got is for basically the mayor, but it can be answered by everyone else. And that is one thing that's not been mentioned today, and not many ratepayers here in Hamilton know of this, and some of the candidates don't know, is that in the 10-year plan, which ends in 27-28, your rates, most of you will be paying double, if not more rates than you were paying in the 17-18 year. Not only that, but the council...
Is there a question, Rod? Can you get to the question from the candidates? You're making a statement. That's the question.
There is also a massive debt of $760 million that is going to be levied by 2023, which is already projected out to $775.
What's the question, Rod? Can you get to the question, please?
Why do we need all that debt when at the same time we're paying double the amount of rates, which is well over 300 million by the 27-28 year. So why the big loan as well?
3.8 compounded is about double over 10 years.
Yes.
No, it's not.
It's with the 9.7. It is because your figures, and I'm quoting council figures, and your debt, 27-28, you've got it 775, but you've already projected a debt
And the population is going
$775
up
million
at the same time. It's
23.
not, it is not doubling your rates.
It is. My rates went up $800 in the last 2 years.
It's not a yes or no question.
Why the
What do you
debt
ask?
as well?
It's not a yes or no. Could you ask us a yes and no question?
So I'd like to suggest that your house has doubled in price over the last 10 years and you're not complaining about that.
But the fact is, it's not a gambling chip on a casino board, my house, it's my home.
That's right.
The
And
only
the city
time
has
I'll
to...
benefit from it is if I sell it But if I sell it, I've got to buy on the same line.
The city's got to run the city and stop it and look after what we've got, and that's what we're doing. Your house has doubled in price in 10 years, and so have your rates. Okay? And you're not complaining about your house doubling in price over here, where your house, which was 250,000 10 years ago, is now worth $500,000. You're not complaining about that, but you're complaining about the fact that your rates double. Go figure.
Okay,
well, it's very one-sided.
I just want to say, as a mental lot, I'm happy to take the house off your hands for you, so you don't have to worry about rates later again. Well, go up.
This lady here.
120%
She's been waiting a while.
Is that all right?
Here we go.
You're talking about the road in regard of turning it into car parking. Where do you all stand on that?
So what?
Where do you stand on turning the rhododendron lawn into a car park? Very topical issue. So if you know the rhododendron lawn, we're talking about it at the moment at the gardens. Do you support turning the rhododendron lawn at the gardens into a car park? Yes or no? Hold up there, yes or no? So we got some no's down there. Mayoral candidates not answering around the rhododendron lawn?
So yes. Yeah, it's like it's
Okay, one more question before we wrap it up, Rich.
I want to ask this for the mayoralty. Neil said that this community centre got $91,000. Well, mayoralty, I want to know, are you guys prepared to give this community $200,000?
Good stuff. Okay, we're going to wrap it up because we don't want to be here all afternoon. There is some tea, coffee still available, a bit of food. We've got all these candidates here asking your questions.
Neil, do you want to let this guy ask his question?
Okay.
He had one question, I think.
Yeah.
Just to be fair.
My question was, you stated as a fact that the $250 million that the government gave us to Progress Peach Grove was a gift. Are you aware that it's not a gift, it's just an interest-free loan?
Okay. So what I said was the government's given this What I said is the government's given this city $250 million, $250 million in the last 3 years that we don't have to pay back. That's made up. Can you listen? That's made up of $219 million that was given to us for Peacock. That was made up of $110 million worth of roading subsidies we don't have to pay back, and $180 million interest-free loan for 10 years, which has, at the time, had $70 million worth of benefit. That is now, because interest rates have come down, probably more like about $50 million worth of benefit. As well as that, they've given the city $18 million for the Noodle Junction to get over Waiwere Drive, on top of the normal subsidies. And on top of that, they gave us $18 million for the trains to Auckland. You add all that up, that comes to $250 million. Yes, you are right, there is $180 million that has to be paid back, but the benefit is what we're counting, which is the $50 million interest-free.
So you stated it incorrectly. It's not all for Peacock. No, he was talking about that.
No, I said it was for our city. So the benefit for our city that we've got from central government over the last 3 years has been $250 million.
The 182 is for Peacock, so. All right, this is the last question.
This is for the Founders Theatre. I graduated this Founders Theatre in 1989. Now, I want to ask this question to Canada. Would you turn it into a youth centre or a multicultural centre?
It's $20 million to fix it, and I would say it's going to be demolished and made into green space, but it's very interesting. We just gave land to Kote Pacifica for a Pacifica Centre, and Tainui don't have a marae in Hamilton, and there's something very wrong there.
In a conversation with Tainui, that's not
Anyone else want to say anything?
What a worry about the pipe that's going under the river to carry the waste from people.
Just on Founders Theatre, like I said earlier, it's your asset and you've paid for it and you own it. I'm not in favour of bowling it down because a lot of community groups are desperate for some space. So that's what I would like to do with it, but it's your decision.
I converted into a multicultural centre, although we're married and non-married together, but we need to have it for an all-inclusive community so we can all work together.
Thank you for the question. I would be looking for the best partnership that we can do with the community, and that was right decision. So Cote Pacifica happened because Cote Pacifica has been a long time raising the money that they needed to make the improvements. So if someone comes to us as council with a really good offer that we can partner for to make that space really something special, I'm open to that.
I think it's really important when that is such a central space in our city that it is decided on collaboratively with mana whenua, with every other members of our community, so that we can make sure that whatever goes in there is fulfilling a need. Because if you actually review the amenities we have in the city, there are things we are missing from the CBD that we have elsewhere we don't have there. One example is a playground. We don't have an inner city playground. The closest one is the lake. And that's potentially one thing we could put in there, but I think it has to come from consultation from the community around what they want, and mana whenua are a huge part of that.
Thank you for your question. I set up a petition on change.org and 1,161 youth have signed for that to be an indoor skate park, which would include scooter, skateboards and BMX. So with that petition, it's not just to say that it's for Founders Theatre, but obviously if that's going to be busted down due to earthquake damage, that does. I thought that was a good concept. I also thought the Waikato River is so beautiful. Would it not make sense to build a marae very close to the river and being so close to Central? Because obviously, in terms of tourism, I think tourism is so important for Hamilton. We just made, I'm not sure if you guys know, but we just made 17 out of 50 top places in the world to visit as a bucket list, and Hamilton came under the umbrella of Waikato. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could have Hamilton included on its own and include a marae and a cultural experience when people come to Hamilton? So thank you for your question.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming today. Thank you for the hospitality that our volunteers have given us today. The centre relies on volunteers. A special mention to Jules, who